if somebody could beat her, it's probably somebody like Sabalenka, because she has the power, but then, you have to be so consistent against Iga as well, which is very hard to do. So, yeah, things are looking very good for Iga.
I'm from Poland, so you won't be probably surprised if I ask you about Iga.
I wouldn't have thought so.
First, she conquered Madrid, then she conquered Rome. Is there anybody out there who can stop this girl in Paris? What do you think?
Oh, I mean, for me, she's really going into the French Open as a heavy favorite. She's won the title there 3 times. She's just, playing some great, consistent tennis. I think she would have gained a lot of confidence winning Rome and Madrid as well. And I think she's going to be hard to beat. I feel like she's a little bit like Rafa, whenever she steps out there now, she raises her level one more time and she feels comfortable there. Yes, I mean, of course, she has to play one match at a time, but I think she will be hard to beat. It's just the conditions there really suit her, especially when it's, when it's dry, when it's not too wet. With her forehand, the speed and the spin, and then with the beautiful backhand where she can just hit through the court. Her physique, she's moving extremely well. It's very hard to find gaps against her. I mean, if somebody could beat her, it's probably somebody like Sabalenka, because she has the power, but then, you have to be so consistent against Iga as well, which is very hard to do. So, yeah, things are looking very good for Iga.
She's a great favorite, but what could be the biggest challenge for her? Maybe pressure or something else?
Yes, I think over the years now, she's learned how to handle the pressure. But of course, she's the one who has to win. She's the top seed. She's the one who had so much success. It'll be interesting to see how she's handled it. But this is not the first time that she's in that position. And she's getting better and better at it, I think, as well. And I think the first couple of rounds are going to be crucial and important for her. When she, gets to breeze through those ones, I think then the confidence will get better and better, and the self, belief is going to be bigger and bigger. I think, she's got a good team around her and things are going really well, but that's tennis, every week or every 2 weeks you have a different challenge, and there's some players, who embrace it. And I think Iga has, she doesn't get enough credit of how she's performing and how she's playing in the last couple of years, especially since Ash Barty retired. She got to number 1 in the world suddenly. And, she's had her ups and downs, but at the end of the day, she's been unbelievable successful. And I think there will be a lot more we're going to see from Iga over the years. She could go down as, she already is a legend, but go down as a real legend, winning many more Grand Slam titles. She's only 22, so time is on her side. Obviously, we want her to win another Grand Slam, besides the French Open. She's done it at the, where has she done it? At the
US Open.
US Open, yeah, she's done it. So I think the biggest challenge is probably going to be Wimbledon, but the Australian Open. But, we've seen it with somebody like Rafa. He had his big success first on clay. And I think Rafa is a big idol for Iga as well. And then he's tweaked his tennis around, being more aggressive, coming to the net and stuff. And I'm a big believer in Iga. And when you watch her play, at the moment, she's the best.
When we talk about Iga playing on clay, we talk a lot about her topspin. But Sabalenka said interesting thing after the Rome final that for her the biggest weapon of Iga is her great movement. Do you agree that for big hitters, this great movement, how she recovers after the ball is her biggest weapon?
I think she has a lot of weapons, but definitely her movement is a big weapon. And, when you don't find any holes against somebody, it makes you overpower. And that's what happens to Sabalenka a lot of times, that she has to play one extra shot and then she gets, nervous because she thinks normally she would have finished the point before. And then with Iga, she has to go one more time. And I think especially on clay, there's less unforced errors. Sometimes on the fast surfaces, Iga has sometimes, with her forehand, she can have a little bit of a problem, but that doesn't seem to be the case on a clay. And it's tricky when you step out there against somebody where okay, there's not too many opportunities you get that makes you take wrong decisions. And I think that's the biggest challenge for Arynę when she plays against Iga.
We had two finals, back-to-back finals with number one and number two. I think it's something that women's tennis missed for some years. Do you think it's the rivalry for ages, something maybe not like Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, but maybe something like Serena, Sharapova?
Yes, potentially. I mean, we've talked about it already a year ago, that it's turning into a bit of a rivalry between Arynę and Iga, and then you throw Elena Rybakina in the mix as well. Let's wait what happens with Coco Gauff, but I love it. We, as you mentioned, we haven't seen this for quite some time on the women's side, those rivalries, and we had it on the men's side for so long now, and maybe that's going to go away, and now we might have it on the women's side. So I think it's great. I think they hopefully push each other to become better players as well, like the big three did in men's tennis. And, it's a motivation for them to be around longer as well, because you have to have rivals, close rivals, I think, to improve as well. If you have no one there, you stagnate in your tennis, and that's certainly not the case. I mean, those women are getting better and better, and I think they're passionate about it as well. And it's great to see. I love it. I love that rivalry.
So last question is about men's side. It's French Open is gonna be very open when we talk about favorites, because Djokovic struggling with the form, Sinner and Alcaraz, and also Medvedev struggling with injuries. Who is your favorite to
it's extremely difficult to call it. One thing is for sure, it's going to be extremely exciting because you have Rafa there. Hopefully he's going to play. You never know until he steps on the court, but he's already there practicing. You never know with him. He's hasn't had a lot of matches, the last couple of years. And now he still has some niggles, but whenever he steps out there, you never know what's going to happen in Paris. My heart, obviously, goes with him. I want him to have big success there once again. But my brain says, is that possible? At some stage it's not. But one thing is for sure, it's pretty sure. I think it's probably going to be his last French Open, and it's going to be a big spectacle, I think, which we're all looking forward to. The stands are going to be absolutely full. He's going to have so much support, and he could play against anyone. I mean, he could play against Novak in the first round. Imagine that. So that's exciting when the draw comes out. Then you have Novak. What's going on with him? He had an unbelievable season last year. This year he's kind of struggling to find his form. Had some changes in his team with his coach, with his fitness coach. But then when it comes to a Grand Slam, he's usually playing his best tennis. Then you have the young ones. You have Alcaraz, you have Yannick. I believe if Yannick is playing, he's going to be fit. And I wouldn't read too much into it that he was injured, and I'm sure he was injured, but I think he wouldn't play the French Open if he wasn't fit. I think he's somebody who really looks after his body. He has to as well because he's playing so much. And then you have Carlos as well. So it's extremely exciting. You throw Sasha Zverev in the mix too. I think we're going to have a new Roland Garros champion this year. So we'll see. I think it's not lacking in excitement, that's for sure.